Nearness of You. Written by Dorothy Garlock. Read by Bailey Carr. Prologue. Hooper's Crossing, New York. May 1937. Sarah Denton lifted a damp blanket from the wicker basket at her feet and draped it across the clothesline, careful to smooth away any wrinkles, before clipping it in place with wooden pins. Shirts hung next to tablecloths, napkins, bedspreads, and so on down the line. The spring air was filled with the scent of detergent and bleach. High above, the early afternoon sun shone brightly in a nearly cloudless sky. The blowing breeze was soft, unable to move the washings, but strong enough to stir the newly budded leaves on tree branches. Ladybugs momentarily lit on the line, their red and black shells standing out in stark contrast with the white fabric, before again taking flight. Bees weaved between the stalks of flowers, birds collected twigs, looking for the perfect place to build a nest. Sarah didn't have that problem. Her nest was right here. Her family's two-story home wasn't much, but it was theirs. Sure, it had its share of problems, pipes that shook when the spigots were opened in winter, a staircase that creaked with every step, a jamb that hadn't been set quite right, making it impossible to shut the door. And from where she stood in the backyard, Sarah could see the spot just below the eaves where the squirrels squeezed their way into the attic. But for all of its faults, the house was as cozy and comfortable as a favorite sweater. She knew every inch by heart. It was crammed full of memories, of laughter, of good meals around the table in their cramped dining room. It was lined with photographs, holiday decorations, and boxes of toys. It was... A sudden lancing pain in her temple ended Sarah's reverie. It was so intense that she had to steady herself on the clothesline. Fortunately, it quickly lessened. The truth was, she hadn't been feeling well all morning. Most likely, she needed a glass of water and to lie down for a while. But there was still the half-full basket of laundry that needed to be hung. First, she would finish her chores, then she could take some time to rest. That is, if Lily would let her. As if in answer, Sarah's 6-year-old daughter burst from the back door, the screen banging against the side of the house, before leaping off the porch. Her arms and legs pinwheeled every which way, her blonde pigtails bouncing as she laughed, a whirling dervish of energy. Lily made a beeline for her mother, occasionally glancing back over her shoulder. The girl weaved among the wash, darting in and out of sight until she collided with her mother's leg. Lily's face lit up like the sun, with fetching blue eyes, a smattering of freckles across the bridge of her nose, and a smile that was perfect, even if it was missing a couple of teeth. Moments like this one, ordinary and innocent, were still capable of taking Sarah's breath away.
"He's coming!"
Lily hissed in a whisper that was anything but quiet. "Are you and your father playing a game?" Sarah asked.
"Hide and seek! He's looking for me, right?"
Before the girl could finish, the sound of heavy footsteps came from inside the house.
"Now where did she go?"
A voice boomed. Lily burst into a fit of giggles, then tugged at her mother's skirt.
"Hide me!"
she insisted. Sarah did just that, tucking her daughter behind her, then raised a finger to her lips and made a soft shush. Morris Denton stepped into the sunlight and gave his wife a knowing smile and wink, with no doubt as to where his child was hiding.
"Now where in this big yard do you suppose Lily is?"
he asked, which made the girl tremble, so desperate was she to hold back her laughter. Sarah watched her husband peek behind the bird bath, push apart bushes, and peer into flower beds, all while loudly announcing what he was doing as he came steadily closer. It was something of a comical sight. Morris was a big man in both size and personality. He liked to joke that the only thing larger than his waistband was his love for his wife and daughter.